Hey everybody, Danny Maude here. Thanks for joining us. This week, I wasn't sure whether I should be producing a golf video for you. It felt a little bit trivial with all the things that are going on in the world right now with the big C. It just didn't feel quite right to kind of talk about how to improve your game when actually there's so many bigger and more important issues that are affecting us all right now. But I thought, look, you're probably still playing a bit of golf and maybe you need a bit of light relief. So I'm gonna keep producing the videos until you tell me not to. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm still getting clients. We're being safe, and I had Nick this week was no different. I had Nick come and see me, really struggling to strike his irons properly. He was striking the ground quite a bit of a distance behind the golf ball. He'd lost 20, 30 yards of his irons actually, and particularly his drive, he'd lost a lot more. By the end of the session, we had really improved the quality of his iron play, had some serious distance to it. His driving was amazing. I couldn't keep the smile off his face. He was hitting it that far. And I'm going to share with you exactly what we did because it was super simple. In fact, I gave him an auditory drill, which I completely forgotten about, and it was almost instant. We tried a couple other drills earlier, but they didn't really work. And this one came in, I was like, oh my God, that's just unbelievable. So I'm going to share with you because I think it could benefit you, particularly if you're the kind of person who's losing distance, striking the ground behind the golf ball, and like Nick, had a bit of a cut with his driver. So before I get into the training though, if you're new to the channel and this is one of your first videos of mine, come and join the community by pressing that subscribe button and the bell. It's completely free and you get notified every time I release a video just like this one. So what was Nick doing and what could you possibly be doing if you are losing power with your irons, striking the ground behind, etc. So Nick was really doing this. When he got anywhere through the impact area here, he was getting the wrists into this kind of almost flicky position. So the club head is passing the hands. To strike a beautiful shot, we need to catch the ball first, and in order to do that, the handle needs to be ahead of the golf club. That's how we get the strike. What you want to imagine here, look at this. If that handle is not ahead of the golf club, at some stage that club now is going to go up and it's going to start to lift it and flick the ball up in the air. Weak shot. We need the handle ahead so that the club naturally comes down on top of the golf ball and compresses it and strikes it. That's the goal. Question is, how do you go about doing it? Well, Nick had just one major problem. When he was coming through impact here, he was hitting too much from the top of the swing. He wasn't getting his weight forward enough into his lead side. Therefore, he couldn't get the body ahead of the golf ball. He couldn't get the handle ahead of the golf ball in order to strike. His body was always too far behind the golf ball here. If your body's too far behind the golf ball, particularly with the iron, you're simply going to flick, look. Just as we said, if the handle's too far behind the head, it's going to flick. That's what was happening. So we needed to get that body ahead of this golf ball here so we could eventually naturally increase the likelihood of creating more natural flex on that shaft. And all we did was give him this simple auditory cue. He came up with it initially, the actual words, but he sounded, I don't know why he came up with these words, they don't really make any sense to me, but they made sense to him. So there's 3 words in this. I've done this something similar before. And he went, voom and voom. Voom and voom. Now, the magic in the words are this. He was using an auditory cue to help regulate the speed and timing of his golf swing. He didn't realize this at the time, but you might benefit from this too. Before, because he got here, was rushing the downswing way too much. When he got to the top of the swing here, he rushed it, and therefore his body didn't have a chance to get in ahead of that golf ball to naturally keep that angle. So he was rushing it down, and immediately his body would be behind it, he couldn't stop flicking it, losing power. When he went voom and voom, watch this, I'll do it in slow motion. Voom, the and, because he had to get the and in, and allowed time for his body to naturally get forward, and then the voom gave him the sense of timing and release. Watch this in action. Voom and voom. There we go, can you see that? So that's what was happening, and then suddenly it was like almost like magic, the whole rhythm of his swing. And it's a little bit like, think about when people learn to dance, there's a reason why they use things like 1 and 2, 1 and 2. These are helping you, in a sense, orchestrate the movement of your swing, again, without too much kind of complications. And this was instant, literally, once we did this, it was like done, you know, it was just incredible. So he was going voom and voom. Now, if he rushed it, and went boom, and he said, and boom here. He knew he'd rushed a downswing. It would be a poor strike, but he just kept going with it. So watch this. So on the backswing, it's boom and boom. Can you hear the timing of that? That is a wonderful way to, one, get the smoothness in the backswing, and then the and gets you onto that front side, and then the boom on the way down gives you the natural sense of timing and releasing. And do you know what? That is all we did to really start to get his striking going. You can see here, I've used the orange rib a few times before. Watch this. If that body stalls behind the golf ball here, you can see here that's going to flick, but watch this. When we go boom and boom, it's going to flick a lot later. Boom and boom. It comes in a lot later, and then therefore naturally, look, you're going to create this angle here through the impact area, and the whip and the strike comes after. It's very different to when you rush it here, the body doesn't have a chance to get forward, and you end up leading to that flicking action. We didn't finish there. We said, look, he got really nervous. It was going so well that he was, how do I remember all this? And, you know, will I be able to keep it? And I said, look, yes. Just don't make this a mechanical thought. It's a sensory. The voom and the voom is connected. Voom and voom. They're not, the words themselves aren't magic. It's about how they relate to the whole sense of that golf swing. So we said, look, build this into a little bit of a routine too. So a golf shot, as you're aware, starts not here, it starts here. So what you're doing is I said, right now we're going to build this voom and boom into a little pre-shot routine. So we pick a spot just behind the golf ball here, and we go in, visualize where we're going to go, voom and voom. And do 1 or 2 practice swings, walk your way in, voom and boom. And away we go. How simple is that? Could it be that simple? Do you know what? For Nick, it really was. And what was really interesting with this, when he started to ramp this up, he could really increase the power. Because he got the timing, boom and boom, he then started to go boom and boom, boom and boom. And he really started to really get that timing. So, because suddenly now, it wasn't this artificial brute force adding the power, he could feel the speed and where it was coming from. And with that, hugely increased his yardage too. So I really hope this helps. Just in summary with it, what you're going to have to do initially though, you're going to have to make sure your arms are nice and soft. Nick had this when he came. A lot of people, you wouldn't be able to do this if you're stiff as a board trying to control this club. You've got to let the arms swing nice and freely. That head has to swing freely. So then you're doing this. Then, boom and boom. Start to add those words in. Boom and boom. Notice where the and is. It's boom. The and gives you time to get into impact, and then the boom allows you to fire through. Don't make it too mechanical. It doesn't need to be. Just get that sense, and when you're ready, gradually build it up. I really hope this video helps your game. And like, if you know someone else is out on the golf course finding some isolation, maybe share it with them. And of course, look, enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, and maybe come and join the community if you haven't already by pressing that subscribe button and the bell. But until next week, stay safe, have a great golfing week.